I have already had experiences here with snake bites. I almost died, so I have been between life and death. I started to fly out of the cage, and then I began to discover that outside the cage there was a big world, man. And then I never stopped. Let's stop these wars now, right? Have empathy, open your heart, and see that life is just one. It's just one. We have to enjoy it. There's no going back, no reverse, and it doesn't stop. It's just a one-way ticket. You who are here, you're seeing it. You're going to. You're participating with flights. You'll see the Amazon inside and out.
I had to undergo an operation that came, well, suddenly, unexpectedly. There are places that can't be explained, only felt. I remember the first time I got there. The sound of the forest was different, almost as if it were alive, breathing. And it was in this place, in the heart of the Amazon, that I met Luiz Armando, a guy who gave up everything to protect the forest and the pararucu monkeys, a species that only exists there. Today's video is about this story, about finding peace in the midst of chaos and understanding that preserving is also a way of living. So, subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning of our journey. Every subscription helps us a lot to keep flying and showing the Brazil that the world needs to know. Let's go to the video.
Why not have an intense experience, spiritual experience here in Amazon? Today I have Luiz Armando, and he's gonna tell me all that story. Also, he's gonna talk about preservation, how he'll help the forest and the community to preserve the animals around here. Onde que a gente tá e que lugar é?
The name of this place here is Zen Forest. It is an institute today. And within this institute, various things are happening. Preservation, spirituality, therapies, taking care of the animals, addressing the deforestation of the forest. Because what matters to us here is the forest standing. When it's down, it's useless.
And let's talk about this. When I got here, I saw that the place is different. It's not common, right? Zen Forest.
This is a portal.
It's a portal. Explain this to me.
Man, you see there's a big division. We're between the city and the forest, right? So, near the airport. But it is a totally privileged location because this is an APP, a permanent protection area. Due to all the problems we are having here, the Institute also decided to undertake some projects for the preservation of the forest, the rivers, and the animals, the birds. You understand? And along with all that, this therapeutic and spiritual part that we practice here because it's all integrated, right?
Right.
It's a micro system and a macro system. So every piece is important here. If nature made it, it's because it has a function. And generally, man goes and destroys some things as if he were the owner of everything. And he is not. And we, as human beings, we are part of this whole. But we are not the whole, we are just a part. And I think that Floresta Zen is fulfilling its part. We are in a big battle with all this environmental and spiritual ignorance, and we are trying to rescue and put things in their proper place, in balance at least, right?
Yes, balance comes in the woods, in the forest, and internal balance too, right?
Inside each one.
From each one, the spiritual balance, right?
Yes, because I see tourism here in the Amazon is very intense. But it is very superficial, most of them, right? They don't delve into the mysteries of the Amazon because this tourist part is just the external part. It's the cover. Now what's inside is the mystery, the big secret, right?
Talk a little about these rituals and about this moment of purification and integration. The passage through the portal. Tell us about it.
The guy arrives at the door and already feels a different energy because above all, this is an egregore. We work with energy here, so it's really an energy to recover people who are worn out. They come here, we don't need to perform any rituals. Just facing nature makes the person feel better. But we also use the medicines of the forest here, right? Ayahuasca, rapé, sananga, kambu, each with its specific shaman to apply to people. And the result has been wonderful because in the past it was a therapeutic center, right? But as things evolve and the spiritual, including to heal what we are healing in therapy, which is the mental, the spirit is what encompasses everything. So we are a natural evolution of Floresta Zen. It was to integrate body, mind, and spirit. So Floresta Zen seeks to restore this feeling of belonging for each person. That each is part of the whole. And each is important because otherwise we wouldn't be here. Nature was very good in putting us here to fulfill these missions, right? Because there's only one life. There's no going back, there isn't. So it's a unique chance that we should honor and be eternally grateful for and preserve. Because I think it's absurd to be grateful and then go deforesting everything and messing up here in the Amazon rainforest, right? This situation keeps getting worse. I'm not talking about our area. Here we are fighting. But I mean in general, right? On the planet, right? It's not just in the Amazon, right? This awareness is important.
And how did you get here? Sorry to even call you sir, but how did Luiz...
I'm already it's a business of the abuelos.
Abuelo. How is it? Let's speak in the language of the Amazon. How did the armadillo get here?
I'm at the sexy age, 60-something.
Because you see, your story is long, right? From jiu-jitsu to being a spiritual guide is... Because jiu-jitsu is also a kind of guide.
Jiu-jitsu is it's a martial art, it's not a fight, it's truly an art of self-defense, of war. And the ancient samurai also had similar codes. So when you use a martial art in this sense, the spiritual part is included within. When it's just a sport, no, it's just competition, it's something that... But when it's really a martial art, the spiritual is embedded within it. This change was just from fighting. I used to fight jiu-jitsu. Then I came here to fight for the preservation of the forest, for the preservation of mental sanity, the mental health of the people who come to us here, and also for the balance of the planet, right? To see if we can stop the war. With our prayers too, because besides doing physical things, we do mental and spiritual ones. It's integrated.
Yeah, and a man without prayer, he is nothing, right?
No, it's a fish out of water, right? You have to prayer as the food of the spirit.
Yep.
Then thoughts are the food for the mind, basically. But there are other foods. And the physical is food and sports, right?
Let's go. Now let's talk a little about preservation. Because we arrived here yesterday, the number of monkeys jumping in these trees looks like a giant squirrel.
This is the parawaku, which is a large animal. The males are black and the females are brown. And they have a tail similar to a squirrel's, very thick. And they make quite a leap, right? Beautiful like that, big. Not even Tarzan can compare to them, right? Learned from them, right? And there's the collared peccary, which is our favorite. The sangue de colera is the symbol of Manaus, the city, the capital of Amazonas, and the symbol of Floresta Zen. And they are endangered, and we are helping to preserve this animal, which has a unique beauty and is very unique. It is a rare animal, which is why it is disappearing, right? He has very few places, only here, some interiors of Amazonas and a few states, right? But it's very few. As you saw, right? The Ausawim comes here, we play with him and such. We try not to feed him so he doesn't lose his hunting instinct. To have this notion, right? We are really getting informed, studying and practicing, right? Because here it's more about practice than we started with practice. Now we're moving to theory. But what we're talking about, we've been doing for a long time. In fact, you mentioned, how did you get here, right? This was given to us by a spiritual entity. we practically did nothing. I mean, it was a struggle, right? But we did nothing for it to happen. It was the spiritual entity that gave it to us. Look, you just have to do this and leave the rest to us. And we went. We kicked the bucket. I had a television show. I left. My wife also worked at Amazon Sat, which was an international television network. She also left. And we came to follow the instructions, which we still follow today, and it worked. Here, Floresta Zen is well located, both for going to the city and to the forest, right? Because we are in the forest, but in half an hour, we are in the city. And Floresta Zen, it operates in the tourism sector. We have our packages to do the part because we have to make money somehow, right?
Right, no, the visits, the tours, so you have all...
Accommodation.
That's right, a whole connection so that the tourist who comes seeking the spiritual part can also do their tourism.
Yes, it is a shamanic house. Its foundation is entirely shamanic because shamanic rituals take place here. We do spiritual tourism because we get people to know the city part, the forest. And if they want to go by air, they go by air, the rivers. And this spirituality part is interspersed with this tourist part, you know? Because the guy doesn't just come here to pray. He also has to get to know the city's culture, right? And other things.
One thing you mentioned, we also have to make money. Yes, I saw an article with Richard. He's a biologist.
I know him.
You know him, right? And he said something really cool to me. In this program, he said preservation starts with people. Because if you don't protect people, if you don't give them bread, food, infrastructure for people, how do you expect them to preserve anything? When you come here to the Amazon, right, help the people of Amazonas, help the local community. Let's support the tours. When you visit the tribe, leave some help for the tribe, the river dweller, leave, right, a donation for the river dweller. This week, we are even going to head upriver, right? And we bought several toys for the children and some, because, well, there aren't tribes, but there are also communities that live there. And there are children who, don't have many resources. So we're bringing little toys to cheer them up. So it's like this. When you come to the Amazon, you will take something from the Amazon, but also leave a bit of yourself in the Amazon. That's important, right, Luis?
They say that the person who comes here doesn't return because they transform.
Kasi
You bathed in the river and you ate the jaraki, which is a fish. From here, you won't leave anymore. Here is a mo. It's a mother's heart, this land. Because we already have fewer people from Amazonas than the whole world is here. It's Arabic, Japanese, Chinese, American, all of Brazil, Latin America, everything. And the people from Amazonas. Now, recently, we permanently hosted the Haitians who were in need, right? Because there was an earthquake there. And the Venezuelans who are going through that crisis, we received many here. So, there are places here in the north where there are two languages, Spanish and Portuguese, right? Roraima is when you get there, like Miami and Miami.
Tell me a little about yourself before we finish.
I am Luiz Armando. I have always been an athlete my whole life, jiu-jitsu and swimming, right? And I also worked in television my whole life. I retired from television doing a program called Big Bang. And within this program, we recorded 2 CDs, made a comic book, made a beautiful mess while we were there. Then I went on receiving my spiritual instructions and went on because nothing is eternal, right? So I just gave my training in detachment. And it wasn't very painful to let go of those things, no. Because I've already had experiences here like a snake bite, almost died. So I've already been between life and death. So this detachment from material things already flew away a long time ago, right? So I had the luck to wake up to this unique experience that is life. Thanks to my parents. my father, who has Peruvian descent, Peruvian shamanic, who gave me ayahuasca, gave it to me since I was born. Then I think it came into my life in the Peruvian area as medicine. I would take a little spoonful, and in my Brazilian grandmother's area, it was the pill of life. It was a placebo, but it healed just the same. So I say, my brother, then I also started to get out of this network matrix like that. I started to fly out of the cage, and then I began to discover that outside the cage, there was a big world. And then I didn't stop anymore. And then it was very easy to reach this spiritual area because I was already prepared, right? I am one of the founders of Santo Daime here in Amazonas, here in Amazonas, in Manaus, right? Many years ago, about 48 years ago, I had my experience with shamanic and daime rituals incredibly in Rio de Janeiro because I used to take a remedy at home. But the actual ritual part that I started was in Rio de Janeiro. And I appeal to the people of Amazonas to integrate more with their culture and its mysteries and powers, because this here is wonderful. People from all over the world come here for this. The people of Amazonas don't even care about it, right? So let's wake up, folks. It's not just the people from Amazonas. Let's wake up the whole world to this call from the Amazon, because it's important to preserve this green sea of forest we have here, right?
Magnificent.
You who are here, you are seeing it. You will be participating with flights. You will see the Amazon inside and out. You will see the difference when you leave here.
Look, thank you very much for the conversation. Thank you very much for the stories. One word that caught my attention is detachment. There are certain times in our lives when I'm feeling this now because I went through a moment of change, right? I had to undergo an operation which came suddenly. I didn't expect it. And I am in this moment of change, of detachment, and I really identified with your story. And I think this moment now, this week, when my friends, I don't even call them clients, my friends will be here with me. We will visit this beautiful and wonderful Amazon. We will go up the Rio Negro to the national park. We will see the Amazon from below, and we will see the Amazon from above. And I hope this moment also brings a lot of spiritual change to those I managed to bring here, not just to me, but to all of them, to be touched. And that this change for the better happens in each one's heart. And thank you very much for having us here. Yes, this place was handpicked.
The finger did it on its own, right?
The finger went by itself. I will stay here. The place is beautiful. The accent is from Amazonia. The place is beautiful. And then I chose. I said, I will stay there. Instead of ending up in those stone hotels, I will stay in a more earthy place, right?
Nature.
I went, nothing is by chance. And we ended up here meeting this wonderful person, Mr. Luiz, and also getting to know all the people around him as well.
Which is my wife. She is the president, including of the institute. I am the vice president, and our son, who is also part of the board, and his girlfriend, who also, Luiz Guilherme and Miriam, who are part of the board of the institutes. But the institute is going full steam ahead. I hope we add for planetary awareness, for the balance of the planet. And may these wars that have nothing to do with it end. Life is only one, to be wasting bullets and shortening life.
You're tired, right?
Tired, it's given all it can.
Already tired. Let's join our prayers, our positive thoughts, our hearts, so that we can end this spirit of war that is happening all over the world.
I think that, this war is quite a masculine thing, So I think there should be a balance among our world leaders, women and men. Because women don't like war, women like empathy, and we lost this. They were deprived of this power. And I think that the men of the whole planet should return these powers to them, as they are the true owners of creation. Half of the earth belongs to women, and the other half are their children. So who is the owner of the... We only collaborate, but we're even hindering the men. Let's stop these wars now, right? Have this empathy. Open our hearts and see that life is just one. It's just one. We have to make the most of it. There's no going back, no reverse, and it doesn't stop. It's just a one-way ticket. Wow. So let's go.
Luiz, thank you very much. We will come back here, okay? We will come back here to tell more stories.
Yes, the field is vast, right, man? You know you can come here, but there's even a season there in the Amazon.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being with us. Please follow our channel.